Hello, people. Welcome to Ctrl+Create. In this episode, we had Prabal Monga with us.
He is the co-founder of Hive School, which is India's first sales school, and they recently got featured on Shark Tank. By recently, I mean yesterday. So do check out that episode. And we had so much fun shooting this episode.
In this episode, we talked about sales, entrepreneurship, internships, and much more. So do watch this episode till the end and make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
So I think people are already so aware. Plus, the episode would also give it a boost.
Mhm. I think the awareness around Delhi region has been pretty good. Second, I think Bangalore we are able to cater a lot, but remaining it's still pan India, right? When you're looking to fill up a batch, you're looking at premium students, you're not looking at average candidates per se, right? And when you're looking at premium talent, it requires, so for us, it's 70% rejection rate in one go,
Hmm.
right? So then it's a three-round admission process on top of it. That happens with me and Nikhil. So it's a lot to take, right? So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
true.
scenario. So you have to create a lot of awareness.
Hmm.
You have to get a level wherein you are able to curate the best 40
Best.
people for a batch or for best 100 people for a batch.
True, true.
And that's what I think Masters Union Mesa has been doing for a while
Hmm.
now. So
Right.
for them, it's a lot of marketing spend, but
Hmm.
for us, it's a bootstrap company. You can't spend a lot on marketing. That's there.
Even a lot of my friends from Mumbai knows about Hive School. I mean, they are
They
small
do?
people. Yeah, they do. I mean, I never expected them because they are not from this genre, but they still
Mhm.
know about it. That means a Hive School has taken over social media by storm. Just being very honest with you.
I think a lot of my juniors from college have spread the awareness in Bombay colleges specifically. So I myself is a grad from R.A. Podar, Mumbai University itself. So there has been a lot of fuss around that because previously also I was doing a startup similarly something in EdTech itself, and post that taking a highest package in the complete MU circle was the game that I think got a lot of visibility. Still, I think a lot to create, man. Still, I would not even say 1% hit. That's the thing. I think Shark Tank will help a lot.
All right. Hello, sir. It's so good to have you on the episode. So, how are you doing first?
Pretty hectic. You guys already have the news, so I don't want to repeat that once again. But getting aired tomorrow, so pretty hectic. A lot of things are pending. Need to get a lot of things prepared before you actually get that such kind of a traction. Fingers crossed, we're expecting a lot of traction to come in. In terms of business, if you ask, it's going pretty well. Last 2 months has been overwhelming. Got a lot of people to sort of interact with the ecosystem as well. I've done a couple of very good events in these last 2 months, launched offline. So a lot of exciting things happening from the business front as well.
Great thing. We are super excited to see the episode tomorrow.
Yes.
So, can we let the audience know a little about high school? Like you can tell them a little about high school.
Mhm. Hive School majorly is a new age B school. We started with a problem statement that in India, specifically when you talk about sales, there is not a formalized education. So when you look at new age B schools coming into the picture, they're in different categories. If you look at entrepreneurship, there is a new age B school. If you look at startups, there is a new age B school. If you look at tech, there is a few new age B schools coming in. When you look at growth, when you look at marketing, when you look at product, when you look at design, there's a lot of new age B schools coming into the picture, and new age B schools is something which is very much required in the education system that in our country has, right? So that's where the problem statement arrived. That sales, no one is training at the moment, right? When you look at sales, what is the first thing comes to your head? It's always convincing, or it's always just phone calls that comes to your head. It's actually not that way, right? When you look at enterprise sales, when you look at sales which is high ticket size, right? It's more around consulting. 90% it overlaps with consulting. Key stakeholder management comes into the picture. How do you reach out to someone? How do you build pipeline, right? How do you do your research? How well do you understand business? How well is your coordination between sales and marketing? 90% talent out there were one underpaid, and because the reason they were underpaid because there was lack of skills. There was lack of direction. The 10% who was making a hell lot of money was there because they worked on their skill set heavily. They got the right set of directions in their career as well. Otherwise, What's the top that you make in sales? It's 20 lakhs for people who are in B2C. For people who are in B2C, they're like 20, 30, 40. After 5, 8 years, 10 years is what you're looking at ideally, right? That's the maximum bar. Remaining is incentives, what you're making. But Indian sales talent, when you look at Western sales talent, it has to be a match. And that was the gap, right? We were not getting paid that much. Just to give you guys a context, let's say if an Indian SDR is today making 10 lakhs per annum, similar level US SDR is making $60,000. That's close to a 4x, 5x ka difference, right? So that's a hell lot. Why is that difference? Of course, there is a currency gap, but still there is a lot of difference. That is purely because of skill set lack. And that's the reason we eventually started Hive School. Since we are a bootstrapped company, we started with a 4-month online program, which was specifically focused towards B2B SaaS sales. But the intent was always to sort of start something offline, something big, sort of a PGP into sales, entrepreneurship, and tech. That was the vision from day one. But to cater to the market, we started with B2B SaaS sales. We were able to produce some really good results there. First cohort, highest package was 25 lakhs, average was 15. And the reason we were able to produce such results was the purely were students and the mentors that we bring in. We bring in industry leaders. We start every class with a simple learning pedagogy, which is that you learn, build, and then you pitch. Let's say I throw a problem statement at you. You have to sort of solve that problem statement with the mentors, try to learn the complete ecosystem. You build a project around it, and then you pitch it in front of leaders itself. And then they'll be sort of taking you for a ride around it. So it's a pretty fun ecosystem to purely learn as well, rather than giving exams. That is the learning pedagogy that we work on. First cohort we graduated. Second cohort was a very big hit. 22 students, all of them are placed now. Highest package reached at 30 lakhs, median somewhere around 15. I think average is 16, 16 and a half lakhs. Again, when I come here talking about packages, it is purely because of the efforts that one student brings in and the second that mentors brings and the kind of curriculum that is curated, right? So if you're not open to learning, if you're not open to, let's say, focus on care exactly, what do I need in order to get to the level, right? So you need to build proof of work, you need to build portfolios, right? You need to showcase care. If I'm a 21-year-old, right after college, what do you have in your hand in order to showcase the credibility to ask for a 10 lakh rupee fixed compensation role in sales? Need to show proof of work, right? That is what these students built. So fresher was able to get a 21 lakh rupee package, and average is somewhere around again 15, 16 lakhs that we were able to see. Then we launched our offline program. So Hive is all around sales. It's all around fun. It's all around sort of learning throughout the classes, new challenges coming every day. But it's purely a sales B school, and we're moving towards that.
So, why Hive? Why did you started Hive?
Me personally, if you look at my background, I've helped a lot of people from B2C sales to help make them transition into B2B SaaS sales. Sole reason being because I was stuck in B2C sales for good 6 to 8 months. I was not able to make that transition. Since I was a 19, 20-year-old, no one was open to give me that opportunity in my second year of college. Even no one was open to give me internships. So I used to sort of गेट मैसेजेस फ्रॉम गूगल बड़े बड़े जो मैसेजेस होते हैं आपके वो एक एक पैराग्राफ के वो निकाल के आई यूज्ड टू सेंड टू सेल्स लीडर्स किसी ने मुझे बोल दिया था सेल्स लीडर्स को भेज दो लिंक्डइन पे और शायद तुमको कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल जाएगी so one fine day because of this I sent it to a founder didn't notice that he was in education but he was something doing around B2B SaaS sales. I was like भेज देता हूँ and I landed luckily into an internship with him. So I was making previous to that a good chunk of money in my second year itself and took a hit. I was like, "ठीक है यार, I'm getting to learn a lot of things." And what we used to do there was we used to help B2C people to make a transition to B2B SaaS. There was a 4-week training program. We scaled the company to a good revenue. I started as an admission intern and I was heading admissions while I left the company. I worked there for good 1.5 years, but the model didn't make sense. So we had to shut the business. Now the founder is doing something else and he's doing very good that as well. Then after college, what do you usually do? Either you go for an MBA, either you look for a good high paying role. अगर good high paying role मिल गया तो फिर MBA के लिए कोई भी नहीं जाता. ठीक है, then सबका वो ज्ञान वाला पॉइंट आ जाता है कि MBA doesn't make sense. 24 lakhs का investment, 25 lakhs का investment, and I made a good package. I got into a role wherein I was making 14 lakhs per annum. For a commerce student coming in from a tier 1 school college, still it made a lot of sense because मेरे college से highest package was 6.5 lakhs. उसमें भी 3.5 लाख ही fixed था. ठीक है, बचा हुआ it was bonus or something on those lines, right? So that's where I was able to land in SaaS. And that's where I was able to, me and my manager and the VP sales, the kind of leadership that I got in the company was very good. And because of my previous experience, I was able to perform in the company a lot. I was able to ask relevant questions. I was able to do things that was out of box, which other people in from my Indian team was not able to. US people, on the other hand, I got the opportunity to work with US SDRs. They, on the other hand, was doing very well. That's where I was able to figure out a very major gap in the market. Sales ka skill set is not just how do you reach out to someone or how do you convince. It's also how do you do prospecting. It's also how well do you understand business, right? It's also how well are you coordinated with marketing. तुमको पता होना चाहिए भाई तुम्हारा धंधा कहाँ से रहा है. Very basic भाषा.
True.
ठीक है, अगर नहीं पता है तो यू आर इन डेड वाटर्स. ठीक है, डेड टू राइट्स, यू गेटिंग फायर्ड. बी प्रिपेयर्ड. ठीक है. So that's where I was able to figure out a major gap. How Hive happened. So me and Nikhil were in conversation for good 2 months. Okay, and he told me I'm building something on these lines. And I was like, ठीक है. Then I was like, ठीक है, I'll help you do a consulting project, sort of a thing. I did it for 10 days and then I realized कि यार मुझे जॉब में मजा तो आ नहीं रहा है बहुत टाइम से. I was making money. I was no doubt I was making a hell lot of money. But the thing was that passion into education, building into education was always there. Selling education or let's say talking to students, right? Building curriculums, solving out problems on day-to-day basis. वो startup का fun होता है ना कि weekend off में मजा नहीं. ठीक है, कितना weekend off लोगे? If I
True.
talk to you, kitne weekends off le loge, right? I had fun, good 8 months working at my company. I was like, now it's time. Got the opportunity. I still remember one day before my birthday, in a train journey back from celebrating Holi last year, 26th March, I put my resignation in the train itself. Ki bhai ho gaya hai. And that's where Hive, I was always already a part of the business. It was 10 days. We closed around 2 deals. Us time pe we were able to get 2 students for our first batch. We took a bet, didn't take any salary for 2, 3 months. Me and Nikhil started at that point of time. And then slowly Simran joined, and the remaining of the team also came into the picture. That's how Hive happened. And it was purely never for money or it was never for getting fame or something on those lines. Even if it was a founder's office role, I would have chosen because I was very much into this कि यार यही बनाना है और ये कैटेगरी क्रिएट करने में it has taken a lot of time and we have done it for good 3 years. Okay, this would be my 4th year into this category. So it has taken a lot of time to build this category. Zero awareness. Tha. It is still not there. It is still 20-30%. If I talk to you guys about sales, how do you know? SaaS के बारे में क्या पता है? टेक के बारे में क्या पता है? D2C के बारे में क्या पता है? FMCG सेल्स के बारे में क्या पता है? नहीं पता ना कुछ भी. बट हाई पेइंग रोल्स MBA के बाद वही है.
True.
Okay, so that was the scenario. So it was purely around the passion project. कि यार ये करना है, इसको बड़ा बनाना है. And then the business mind came in. Then I realized it is something that we love doing. And then we got into business, and then we have been scaling throughout. Then Shark Tank happened. So it's been an exciting journey.
So you came from a college जहाँ इतने packages high नहीं मिलते हैं. So just to give you a context, आर्य पोदार को मैं बहुत अच्छे से जानता हूँ because I stay in Wadala. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So how did you feel after getting a highest paying package from a college जहाँ इतना exposure नहीं मिलता, जहाँ इतना packages नहीं मिलता?
यार मुझे ना कॉलेज से नहीं मिला था. ठीक है, सो दिस वाज ऑन माय ओन बिकॉज हमारे कॉलेज में सास कंपनीज नहीं आती पोदार में. पोदार में टिपिकल 4-5 कंपनीज आती हैं बड़ी. ठीक है. एंड या टू मी आई थिंक इट वाज नो डिफरेंट ऑफ अ फीलिंग बिकॉज आई न्यू कि मैं कर लूंगा इतना तो. ठीक है, इतना तो मिल जाएगा मुझे. आई न्यू मतलब आई गॉट अ फ्यू पैकेजेस इन बॉम्बे एज वेल. ठीक है, दिस वाज वर्क फ्रॉम होम बेसिकली जो मैंने क्रैक करा था. बट द फीलिंग ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन यू गेट you don't realize. See, I'll tell you if I give you an offer letter today of 10+4, you'll not realize. But जब वो पहली सैलरी बैंक अकाउंट में हिट होगी ना तब रियलाइज होगा कि ये बहुत ज्यादा पैसे हैं. अभी तक तो इतने कभी आए नहीं है. ठीक है, एंड दैट टू द मनी दैट यू हैव अर्न्ड. ठीक है, फॉर विच यू हैव वर्कड होल नाइट्स. ठीक है, क्योंकि उससे पहले 3 years इट वाज अ ड्राई फेज. ठीक है, इंटर्नशिप्स डजंट पे यू वेल.
Yeah.
ठीक है, मतलब it does in some scenarios. For SaaS companies, I've got an internship. I've done an internship for good 2 months of 40K a month. ठीक है, तो कॉमर्स वाले बच्चों को नहीं मिल रहा है. कॉमर्स में यू आर नॉट गेटिंग सच अपॉर्चुनिटीज, राइट? 5K, 10K, 15K. उससे बॉम्बे में यू ऑल्सो लिव इन बॉम्बे. आई एम आउटसाइडर. आई एम फ्रॉम इंदौर. ठीक है, बॉम्बे में यू नो द रेंट्स.
Yeah.
That's nothing. ठीक है, so that was the scenario. But once you start getting in that money, once you start realizing that this is the worth that you are coming in with, then you become curious, then you become ambitious. कि यार अब मैं ये तो मैंने कर लिया है. What is next? That is the major trait. A lot of people get comfortable with it. That is something that you should not get. Right? You should be on the lines. How can I now upskill myself in this 1 year time frame to a level wherein I can get to at least 1580? How can I get ahead of the race? I was the youngest SDR in my team, by the way. 21-year-old, I was the youngest in my team. मेरे बाद the next person was 25. We were
Oh,
all on same packages. Okay.
and how old are you now?
So I'll be turning 23 this month. I'm still
Oh,
22. But yeah, that's the scenario. So I was the youngest in my team. It was very nice feeling, right? You used to once you start making money, then it's a different feeling altogether. Then it's like, okay, now you can own the world. What do you feel like out of that money?
So I myself am a student from the commerce background. I'm doing BCom honors right now, so I can very well relate to it. कि internships में pay नहीं करते, packages अच्छे नहीं आते college में and everything. But and also that abhi colleges में whatever we being taught, it's very theoretical. And when you ask me something about sales, I would obviously not know क्योंकि मैंने market में जाके वो चीज़ करी नहीं है.
Very dear.
But that's how the education system has been built for so long. तो मतलब हाउ डू यू सी दिस कि हाइव इसको चेंज करने पे कैसे काम करेगा? लाइक ऑब्वियसली अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर फ्रॉम दैट कन्वेंशनल वाला माइंडसेट दैट यू नो बुक्स पढ़ो, टेस्ट दो एंड एवरीथिंग, उसी पे जॉब मिलेगी वगैरह. तो हाउ डू यू प्लान ऑन फेसिंग दिस कन्वेंशनल वाला माइंडसेट ऑफ द सोसाइटी?
Got, got. See, there are two things. I'll give you an answer here in twofold. One, yeah, right now, Hive is not able to solve the problem of right after 12th वालों के लिए problem we are not able to solve. Being very honest, undergrad is a whole together different ball game. It will take us some time to reach at that level. Okay. But what for you guys, I can give you a tip on what I have personally done in order to crack such roles as well. Right? Firstly, start doing internships and don't get afraid of doing, let's say, cold calls or doing basic kind of internships. कि यार यहाँ पे मेरे से basic काम करो. What are you expecting? You are 17, 18 year, 19 year olds. ठीक है वही करवाएंगे तुमसे इनिशियली. They'll not directly give you big projects, right? Have to start from customer interaction. You have to, if you guys are interested in revenue, if you're not, then it's a whole together different ball game. But when you talk about education, how can you improve it for yourself? Is you get experience in the segment that you're looking at. Start cracking internships. Start doing internships. Get into courses. For the 4-month online course that we run, if you guys have awareness around SaaS, that's the best platform that you can get into. Right? Because that comes with a placement. Final year, 6th semester, you do courses. Final year, 5th semester, you do courses. You explore programs like LATE, you explore programs like GrowthX, you explore programs like Hive School. There are multiple programs out there. Make yourself employable is what I would say. How do we change it entirely in terms of the education system for an MBA segment? If you look at it, we work on a different learning pedagogy, which, as I told you as well, learn, build, and then you pitch. Okay, so instead of giving those traditional MBA exams with an invigilator roaming around on your head around finance, economics, what you ideally do is you learn, you get a problem statement, you try to solve that problem statement out, you engage with your peers in order to build something good, and then you pitch it in front of leaders and then you get scored. As simple as that. Right? That's how learning happens. Okay? That's how you typically learn when you're working in a startup. Tomorrow, if you work, like I have a few interns at Hive School. मैं उनको हर हफ्ते नई प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दे रहा हूँ. इट्स नॉट लाइक दे आर वर्किंग ऑन मोनोटोनस थिंग्स. वो तो आपको करना ही है, बट दे आर एवरी वीक दे आर गेटिंग न्यू प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स. राइट? लाइक क्रिएट अ प्लान of the online program for the next 1 year. I've given this to 5 of my interns, right? And they were able to curate a very good plan. Okay, so that's how you do. It's not like I was not there. I was there to sort of help these guys. On the call, 2.5-3 घंटे हमने साथ में बैठ के बनाया, right? So when you look at that way, it is how the learning should happen. It should be a problem statement you're trying to solve. It should be a concept that you're going very much in depth, which is relevant to today's world. मैक्सिमम 20 स्कूल में प्रॉब्लम ये है कि रेलेवेंसी नहीं है बिल्कुल भी करिकुलम जो पढ़ा रहे हैं. लाइक इफ यू आर सुहानी, यू आर करंटली डूइंग बीकॉम ऑनर्स. आई एम अ बैक स्टूडेंट, ठीक है, बीकॉम इन अकाउंटेंसी एंड फाइनेंस. आई डोंट नो व्हाई बट आई एम. तो उसमें भी नहीं है ना कुछ भी रेलेवेंसी. इट वाज जस्ट वन सब्जेक्ट दैट हैड रेलेवेंसी, दैट वाज एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट, दैट आई थॉट हैड रेलेवेंसी. But उसमें भी नहीं थी. When you look at export imports, I have friends who are working big time players in export imports. नहीं है वहां पे भी अभी वो बहुत पुराने रूल्स पढ़ा रहे हैं.
Hmm. That's
Still
true.
not relevancy there,
Hmm.
right? So that's how do you build relevancy? You pick up industries. That's why we for the our offline program, which is a 9 month PGP into sales, entrepreneurship, and tech, we have picked up three segments. We can't cover everything, of
Hmm.
course. Okay, one is tech that you're going to learn, which is AI companies, which is SaaS companies coming into the picture, right? Then you learn D2C,
Hmm.
okay, service product, and then you learn FMCG. Then you also learn import export. All this while doing things. There are live projects integrated towards it. So you guys, I don't know if you have been to a high school class yet or not, but the next time that it happens, do try to visit that class. We'll get that idea कि exactly होता कैसे,
Hmm.
right? Last time when we had that, Swani, the Friends wala, the one event that we have had on Delhi campus as well, it is structured in a way, let's say I brought in two founders for you
Hmm.
who are building a D2C brand, who are building an FMCG brand per se. They came in, they threw a problem statement. This is where the business is currently. This is what we need to solve. They gave you 1.5 hours to solve that problem statement out, right? Meanwhile, there was a 30-minute session that happened explaining you how can this be solved on fundamental level. And then you take it to the next level, build it for another 1.5 hour. Then you pitch it in front of these founders. And then you might get an on-point internship itself, where they might give you feedbacks कि यार ये ऐसे नहीं ऐसे हो सकता है सुहानी या आयन हम ये तो कर चुके हैं हम already. This is how you can take it forward, right? So that is how learning should be. It should be made fun, right? It should be somewhat कि लगना नहीं चाहिए यार मुझे ना जबरदस्ती उठा के वो अकाउंट्स की बुक पकड़नी है रोज. Yes, वो नहीं लगना चाहिए. That was the intent of building high school, and that's how we're trying to change it as well.
Hmm. So I am someone from the commerce background, so I relate very well to this. But for someone who is from a different background, say,
Hmm.
So
so
I'm from science background, by the way. I'm doing data
Okay.
sciences. Yes.
Hmm.
who isn't like a ideal candidate for the high school ka basic flagship program? Like, is it specifically focused on people from this background? Yeah, is it for yeah? Do you make sure कि, you have a diverse community people from like आप specifically choose करते हो people from different backgrounds, or is it like
See, it's not like if you're from science or if you're from BTech, you'll not be able to qualify, right? बीटेक वाले ही सबसे ज्यादा सेल्स हेड्स बन के बैठे हुए हैं फ्रॉम इन टुडेज जनरेशन. दैट इज व्हाट आई हैव ऑब्जर्व. ठीक है, बिकॉज सोल रीजन बीइंग 15 साल पहले हर कोई बीटेक करता. ठीक है,
True.
देयर वाज नो अदर ऑप्शन. यू कांट टेक कॉमर्स. ठीक है, आई वाज फर्स्ट इन माय जनरेशन टू टेक कॉमर्स एज वेल, राइट, इन माय फैमिली. So that's how it is. But when you're coming in from different background, we look at intent. We look at two, three things majorly. One, intent. ठीक है. Second, how well do you know about the industry? How well researched you are. ठीक है, how presentable you are. And third, we look at problem solving skills. ठीक है. You should be interested more towards entrepreneurship, startups, revenue roles. That is what we look at. Right. So it's pure play and intent role. Second is your profile that we look at. Right. So if you do not have a good LinkedIn, if you're not doing internships, you might not be able to qualify for even round one conversations. Right. Have to do something. Okay. If you are just in those 3 years just studying, I don't think so you'll be able to make the cut. Okay. You can give it a try, but I don't think so you'll be able to make a cut. Being very fair. In terms of who is the right person, anyone who is between the age of, let's say, for the online program, if I talk to you about, even finally your students qualifies. For offline program, you have to be a graduate. ठीक है. It's not a hard-paced rule yet, ठीक है, but majorly that would be the right time and the frame wherein you might not go for a 2 year long MBA or might not go for a year and a half MBA. You go for a 9 month PGP program. That's where you get a lot of exposure and you get a good placement out.
So I am someone who comes from a science background. Okay.
Hmm.
I started my entrepreneurship journey very early. So I was 16 when I
Hmm.
started my first venture, and by God's grace, it became like decently successful. Now
Hmm.
I'm building a second venture,
Well,
and it is in the mental health segment. So
hmm.
how can a program by Hive School can affect my journey of entrepreneurship?
Good. See, typically, if you are a tech person or if you are someone from science, as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that stakeholder management, reaching out to people, getting the feedbacks around the product, right? Talking to people around the industry. That's how you build insights.
True.
ठीक है, insights चैट जीपीटी से, क्लॉड से, गूगल से नहीं बने. वो उसके लिए you have to become a geek. ठीक है, that too you might not be able to get the right insights. right? If you want to build something in mental health space, you have to talk to 100 consumers. Who is your end consumer? Let's say when we started Hive School, if I correctly remember, I've talked to more than 80, 90 people. Okay, जो sales heads थे, these were sales managers, right? These were people who are making shitload of money. And then I've talked to my friends who are not making money. कि भाई क्यों नहीं बन रहा है? ठीक है, then I've talked to people who were struggling at 6, 7 lakhs, 8 lakh rupee roles. कि क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? What is the skill set that you guys are lagging into? Right? So as an entrepreneur, one thing that you need to understand, you have to talk to people into gauging insights out of them, right? And then you need to know how to sort of get those conversations in. That is one. Okay, second, you need to understand the industry and the vertical that you're building. For that, you need to understand startup exactly chalta kaise from 0 to 1, then 1 to 10. How do you do fundraising? How do you build your go-to-market? For me today at Hive School, my major link acquisition for leads has been LinkedIn, organic. Okay, then has been content. ठीक है, experimented a bit around Meta, didn't work out very well, right? Now what do I fix? मेरे लिए अब सबसे बढ़िया चैनल क्या चलता है? One is event led GTM. There is content led GTM that works very good for us, right? Then there is LinkedIn as an acquisition channel that also comes under content itself. Then there is marketing that we're currently working on, which is SEO, SSM, right? Click rates, owning hashtags, owning search, right? That is marketing led GTM. For me, does sales led GTM going to work anyway? क्या मैं आगे से रीच आउट करके अयान को ला सकता हूँ? हैव यू सीन एनीवन लाइक समवन हु इज अ कॉलेज ओनर, वो आपको आगे से आगे रीच आउट कर रहा है कि अयान यार मेरे कॉलेज में आ जा,
नहीं.
right? Even I can do that, but it's not going to work out for a long term duration. So sales led GTM is not going to work out for me pretty well. So I need to understand what kind of go-to markets are going to work out for me. Partnership-led GTM, wherein I do partnerships with, let's say, Shiksha,
Yeah.
intern, it's going to work out well for me. So you need to understand कि what type of GTM is going to work out best for you as an entrepreneur. या तो CTO बन जा. If you become a CTO, then you do not have to. Then you get another co-founder who takes care of all these things. If you are someone who is a solo founder, or let's say two founders, one of them is in tech, and you need to take care of the business front, need to know all these things. Okay, because from day one, you will not have funds to hire the best of the best talent. It will take you some time, right? So for that, you need to know all these things. For that, you need to at least know the fundamentals. Otherwise, you'll pay it to someone who will take you for a ride. And that's the most frustrating skill as an entrepreneur. Okay, so you need to understand startup. You need to understand how VC and fundraising works. You need to understand how do you pitch it to C-level executives. You need to understand how do you, what are different types of GTM, what is best suited for your vertical, right? And then you need to sort of build it from scratch. अब GTM समझ लिया, basic fundamental समझ लिया. How do you build on those GTMs? You need to understand market sizing कैसे होती है, TAM SAM SOM कैसे निकलता है. All these things is very important, and that is something that we cover at HiveSchool. And then you have to engage it. ठीक है, इंडस्ट्री इनसाइट निकालना, ट्राई सीखना इंपॉर्टेंट तो है ही सही, उसके साथ उसको एक्सपेरिमेंट करके उसको हाउ डू यू से building a proof of work around it and utilizing it then and there itself is very important. A lot of B schools miss out on these opportunities. They're teaching good, but वो हाथों हाथ यूज करने के लिए उनके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी, राइट? Can't grasp it 6 महीने पहले, 6 महीने पहले किसी का भूल गया मैं, नॉट गोइंग टू. ठीक है, so that's how you sort of build. एक बार कर लिया ना, once you have reached out to someone through a video AI tool use करके, then you would remember it for your life कि मैंने ऐसे भी कुछ करा था. That's how you do it. That's how Hive is making that difference for anyone or for everyone who is coming in from different backgrounds as well.
So, as we're talking, say, about people who are getting into sales or entrepreneurship, so what, according to you, is the biggest challenge that someone faces once they get into the sales, like proper sales aspect?
Yeah, first and the foremost is guidance नहीं है. A lot of people do not get the right set of guidance, right? You see a lot of people right after college who are passionate about sales. Like when I was in college, I was passionate about sales. कि मुझे sales करना. Where did I end up? I ended up into an edtech company. ठीक है? And I was selling 1.5 lakh rupee course in US. The course even didn't make sense. And I was 4 5 months into there was a lot of toxic culture, right? And then people feel hopeless. कि यार हम कहाँ जाए? Okay, because actual idea of sales, what is the actual idea of sales, right? When you talk about someone who's passionate about sales, is selling 80 crores ka deal, selling 1 crore ka deal, 2 crore ka deal, 80 lakhs ka ticket size, right? That is the real dream. right? Selling to LinkedIn, selling to Microsoft, selling to Google. That's the real dream that we're looking at. VP sales of, let's say VP sales of LinkedIn अगर तुमको reply कर रहा है,
Yeah.
how big is that? Right? Or like I today only, like अभी एक घंटे पहले I messaged to VP sales of senior VP of browser stack, which is a very big company. Got a reply in an hour. How big is that? Right. So that is how you do it. That is the dopamine that salespeople usually get. And closing a deal with him in an what? एक दो दिन में हो जाएगी close. ठीक है, I want to do a event with him. It's as simple as that, right? So challenges, this is one. Guidance नहीं मिलता. Second, in terms of salary, then there is a family background that comes into the picture. Family pressure की sales में क्या कर रहा है, right?
True.
Have to prove them wrong. Skill set building, proper courses नहीं है around skill set building. That's where Hive also comes into the picture. But we are right now solving it for one vertical, which is SaaS. And then the horizontal program that we have, the 9-month PGP, that is the reason we launched it. But then also we are able to solve it for three industries, which is tech, D2C, and FMCG, because these are the highest paying industries in India at the moment, right? Then you look at manufacturing and all these, but pretty unorganized as segments. That's where you will be able to break in even after going through this 9-month program as well. Okay, but it will take you a toll to sort of break into such companies. So right set of guidance, right set of education is very tough. There are content out there, but it's very scattered. Then people do not end up into communities. So वो अगर बात ही ऐसे बंदे से कर रहे हैं जो 10 साल में 15 लाख पे बैठा है, then your aspiration becomes of reaching that, right?
Yeah.
Then your aspiration is not to the person who has made. So just by the way, guys, sales में salary और incentive से नहीं, equity से भी पैसा बनता है. ठीक है? So when you are very good in revenue, then you ask for equity stocks in the company. And when that company gets acquired, then you make shitload of money. Okay, no one in the company makes that kind of money. And I have had pure examples of people making 10 crores, 15 crores out of just buyouts.
Equity.
Okay, so it's happening in India. So why not? This is the right time. I would say final year students, if you are looking at revenue roles, don't look at from a perspective की sales है, look at revenue roles. And it's the right way to go. If you guys have interaction कि यार मुझे लोगों से बात करने में मजा आता है, अगर मुझे stakeholder management करने में मजा आता है, I get the dopamine by reaching out to someone, building something good, uh, getting that fame, sales is for you. Getting that money, जिसको पैसे से प्यार है, आ जाओ भाई, मजा आएगा.
So it's like अभी at this point people don't have that correct direction कि बहुत सारे resources हैं but you don't know where to go. जो एकदम out of college है and sales में जाना है, passionate है, but you don't know where to go.
Right.
So at that point, right mentorship is something that's very
Very
important.
important. Right mentorship and the right set of people, community.
Right,
That you're going
community.
to.
True. So at Hive School, if someone is doing the program, so they are doing that program with another set of people. So after they complete that program, what happens after that? Like, do they still stay in touch with communities at Hive School or mentors here?
So typically, we are currently building a very strong event-led GTA, okay, which is we do a lot of mixers. So we've done
Yeah.
one in Delhi when we initially launched. We have done very big in Bangalore. There is one coming in Bombay. There is one, I'm revealing it for the first time. One coming in Bombay, one coming in Pune, one coming in Bangalore next month itself. Again, these are going to be bigger ones. Then there will be a few coming in Delhi. ठीक है,
Delhi में
दिल्ली
करो.
कैंपस पे तो होता ही रहेगा. ठीक है, so that's how it's going to be. So it's going to be a lot of events. So these people who do, कौन host करता है events? These are our previous students who comes into the picture, right? They get to engage with the community. Alum catch-ups होते हैं wherein you get to interact with your alums, right? There are Slack channels जहाँ पे you get added with your alums itself just to interact with these people because they've done it. We're facing problems, very helpful people. That is the advantage of choosing the right set of people. Who do you want them to come into the community? That is the reason Hive में a lot of people get rejected as well, right? उसमें हो सकता है यार you're not fitting right now in the community. देखिए, can be one reason that is. We're very choosy in terms of who do we take it. But वो community एक बार बनती है, that has to be a very high quality community that comes into the picture, right? I personally have been a part of Rev Genius, multiple communities across. That's where I was able to sort of get in touch with a lot of sales leaders like Anupreet Singh, Prakhar, who is the VP sales of WhatFix, right? Rajiv Chari, who was the director of ChargeBee, even a few VPs of LinkedIn for that matter, right? VP sales from US, Chris Orlov and all these. It takes time to build that kind of a community. LinkedIn is going to be super important in that sense.
And for someone who is getting into the sales, what do you think? Now we talked about the challenge. What do you think is the one? So when I hear about selling something to someone, the one first word that comes to my mind is convincing someone to, buy whatever you're selling out to them.
Mm.
So what do you think is the most important skill that someone who is getting into this segment should possess, or that actually should focus on building?
I'll give you a very controversial answer here. A lot of people say extroverts do very good in sales.
Communication and all.
No, introverts are the best salespeople, right? Because they listen really well. Listening is the most important skill set in sales. One. Second is, so there is a very major problem when it comes to sales. Uh, बैठ के बेचने वाले लोग बहुत है. ठीक है, when it comes to sitting and selling,
Hmm.
talking to people, explaining them around the product, consulting them what is the right path to go ahead, is there are a lot of people. There is a lot of talent, and India has been able to generate that kind of talent, और वो आगे भी करेंगे. ठीक है. But the major challenge currently is the lead gen one, which is pre-sales. How is going to the pre-sales going to take a picture, right? How is lead gen going to happen in India? Lead gen has to become a very major thing, skill set in India, which is how do you do end to end? Okay, which is from day one, कि this is the company that I want to sell to, right? Let's say these are the 100 accounts, these are the 100 companies I want to sell to in next quarter, or let's say in next 1 month. These are the 100 companies I'm going to reach out, because eventually you'll not be able to book meetings with more than 10 out of them, or maybe 15 out of them. How will you reach out to those people? How will you write those good emails? How will you write those good LinkedIn messages? How will you do fucking good cold calls, right? How do you get the database out? How do you use AI? Second, one major, very important point is how do you utilize AI in order to improve your efficiency at work? All these things are very, very, very important.
So I saw this on the website that you guys, to evaluate a person, that you guys take a 180-minute conversation. So
Mhm.
why are you guys taking that metric for consideration as for admission?
आ, कितना टाइम लगता है कैट में प्रिपेयर करने के लिए?
I've
Two,
already started.
2 3 years, I guess. These people start from second year, I believe.
या सो इट्स लाइक 6 to 9 months इज, लोग तो 2 2 महीने में भी निकाल लेते हैं करके, अगर आप बिल्कुल लग के करो. बट इट्स सजेस्टेड कि आप 6 to 9 months पहले
At
प्रेपरेशन
least a
स्टार्ट
year.
करें.
9 months, year, 9 months, 6 months, year, depend upon the background that you're coming. If you have done JE previously, to even 6 months or 3 months works the best for you. Even लोग बिना पढ़े भी 98 ले आते हैं. For a commerce student, it's good. 9 months, 12 months का hustle journey, right? ठीक है. Then you write CAT. Then you
Yeah.
filter out the best of the best talent out of it. Then that's how you get into IMABC. That's how you get into Backy. If you want to get into Hive School, you have to go through a CAT person like me. Okay, you have to sort of convince me on why do you want to get into Hive School. And that's where I look at three things: intent, background, com skills. And problem solving is something that we cater in the second round itself. So it's a 3 round process. ऐसा नहीं है मैं एक साथ 180 मिनट बैठ के I'll grill. First conversation going to be somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes with me, which is a discovery call. And I personally take all the discovery calls. Right? I would love to understand your background. What have you done till now? How did you find out about Hive? What's your expectations looking like as well? These are very basic things for us to know कि यार, what is the expectation that you're coming in with. As I told you guys, कि sales is not about convincing, it's about consulting. ठीक है, so I need to consult कि यार, is it the right place for you to get into Hive? है कि नहीं? अगर सही है तो then only I'll take you to the next round, which is going to be case study round with me and Nikhil. Then I'll throw a problem statement at you. Then you'll have to go back and solve that problem statement out. Then you'll get a grilling round कि भाई exactly हो कैसे सकता था और better. Right? That's where we get that intent. We shared you 3 playbooks in between round 1 and round 2, wherein you have to go back and study for good 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours, put into those playbooks अच्छे से. Right? That's how you get into. Then you solve that case study. अगर वो case study में मुझे gap दिखा या निखिल को gap दिखा कि यार ये बंदा पढ़ के नहीं आया, you might not qualify. कितना भी अच्छा इंटेंट हो, because you have to put in efforts. कैट में लगा रहे हो ना 9 महीने 6 महीने, you are putting in efforts. If you want to get into new age B schools, you have to put in efforts. Right now, we do not take any papers per se, right? Because right now we believe those human interactions has to be very important. If your intent aligns with the curriculum that we have built, the kind of community that we have built, we'll be able to give you the results. And then third is culture fit, right? Not everyone is a culture fit in your community as well. So
True.
that's where you want people who come with the intent to learn. You want people who are coming in with the intent to build something or be a part of the community, and then outcome just becomes a byproduct of it.
So,
That's the thing.
what is it that you're looking at, like some major changes or some major, जैसे आपने बताया that you're not currently focusing on any written exams at
Mhm.
admissions वाला process in Hive School.
Mhm.
So, what are some major changes that you might be looking at in Hive, say next 5 years में? Yeah, some
One
major.
major, I think one major change that is going to come in is an elevator pitch. So before you come into Hive, you have to sort of share an elevator pitch, even to get into discovery call, which is you have to be in front of the camera. You have to pitch yourself in a real quick 1 minute call. If you can't do that, I think you'll not be able to sort of do something better there, right? So you have to get that shyness out of you. You need to get ahead of it. That would be one. Interactions with founders are always going to be there, right? Second, I think I would like people to come more prepared. For anyone who is watching this podcast, if you are applying into high school, come prepared. If you're not coming prepared, you'll not be having a very fruitful conversation. Understand कि कहाँ जाना है. Come with a bit of clarity. Do a bit of research around where do you want to go. Why are you exactly applying into high school? A lot of people just come कि यार हमने यहाँ देखा था तो हम आ गए. Doesn't work that way. IIM देखा था तो IIM का interview ऐसे नहीं मिल रहा ना. So I'm comparing myself with IIM because we are able to generate results, right? And if in order to get to the result of IIM levels, I think we need quality students. We need awareness around this industry. We'll be able to generate that kind of results as well.
So, why do we not have this elevator pitch wala thing right now?
Right now, I feel I want to interact with students because this is our first batch, right? So I don't want to have a lot of friction. I want everyone to come interact with me personally on a one-on-one basis, right? Even if Hive doesn't make sense, I suggest them the best route possible. That is the idea of discovery calls, right? Either you get into Hive or you get a good counseling session कि exactly career आगे build कैसे करें. I don't want to sort of put in a lot of friction at the moment, right? I want everyone to sort of come in. I also want to interact with you guys to better see कि यार आप लोगों के लिए क्या fit बैठ रहा है. Because we are building a product for you guys at the end of the day. You are our end customers. अगर मैं आप लोगों से बात करने के लिए friction ले आऊंगा तो it's going to become a lot tough. That's the thing. So that has been I've been doing since cohort one. I've taken more than 1,000 R1s now till now in this past 1 year. ठीक है तो अब हो गए. I've been talking. That's where I am one of your question, right? Where do we get these insights? How do we take business to the next level? Insights यहाँ से आती है when you talk one-on-one with students. That's it.
So, what's an elevator pitch? Just to give our audience a bit.
Elevator pitch is 1 minute pitch. Ideally, 40 seconds to 1 minute is the right time frame wherein you pitch yourself to a recruiter, to someone. Let's say if you want to get into Hive School, why do you want to get into Hive School? Who exactly you are? What is the skill set that you possess, and why would you arrive? Just need to answer those questions. If you are applying for a job, then who you are, how did you find out about the role, why will you be the right fit, and why do you want to get it? You apply, do this in 40 seconds to 1 minute, and that's your elevator. As simple as that.
So, just one last question from my side: that out of the 1,000 or more than 1,000 calls that you've taken with students, is there something common that you've observed, like that's like a pattern in most of the students that should not be there while they're coming?
People coming unprepared. That's the most, I think, irritating thing that I've seen. Uh, a lot of people have surprised me, specifically when I talk to you about DU students. I come from a MU background, right? You guys know that. ठीक है तो MU में there is a different kind of student vibe. DU students are a bit different. ठीक है, it's very fair. And I've seen both the angles. A lot of DU people have surprised me by coming very prepared.
Yeah.
Similar with college students from Mumbai as well. Similar with college students from Bangalore as well. Right? But if you are a working professional and if you are seeing this, come prepared. Otherwise, college students are going to get ahead of you. Then you don't cry, why are these guys getting paid more than you guys? So they're coming prepared, right? So you have to be prepared when you are having interaction with anyone. Let's say if tomorrow you guys came into this call, you had a good amount of research done around Hive School, me, Nikhil, everyone, right? And that is what we were able to have a good conversation. If not, I think मैं 30 मिनट में चला जाता. I didn't enjoy the conversation, right? Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, come prepared. किसी भी call में जा रहे हो, it's very generic. Come 5 minutes early in the call. ठीक है, अगर 7 बजे का call है तो come 6:55. Though I didn't come because I was finishing up another meeting. But if you are not available, inform prior. ठीक है कि यार
Hmm.
मैं 5 मिनट लेट जाऊंगा, 10 मिनट लेट जाऊंगा. बेसिक एटिकेट्स, right, is what people miss on. Basic etiquettes is something that you should never miss on.
So prepared as in terms of you should be well aware of the industry or why you want to get into high school या आपका future goal क्या है, basic things.
Yeah, basic things कि why do you want to get into high school. High school की website देख के आओ at least, right, अगर high school के लिए जा रहे हो तो जिससे बात होने वाली, because when you book a conversation you know that you booked a conversation with me.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
look at my LinkedIn once. What am I posting about, right? I'm talking to clients only. LinkedIn is entirely I'm talking to clients.
Hmm.
ठीक है, it's very less around. ठीक है, वो मैंने शिफ्ट कर दिया है कंटेंट बहुत ज्यादा. इट्स मेजरली आई एम टॉकिंग अराउंड टॉकिंग टू द क्लाइंट्स, कि अगर आप वो पढ़ के आओगे यू नो हु यू आर गोइंग टू इंटरेक्ट विद. इट्स वेरी मच आउट देयर. व्हाट आई हैव सेड इन दिस कॉल, इट्स ऑल आउट देयर. यू लुक एट दिस.
Yeah.
ठीक है, आप अच्छे से पढ़ोगे, इट्स ऑल आउट देयर. सो यू कम प्रिपेयर्ड इन सच अ वे, right? At least come with a strong why. Why do you want to get into high school? I'm not asking you figure out करके आओ अगले 5 साल कौन सी इंडस्ट्री में काम करोगे. It's not relevant. ठीक है, बट why क्लियर करके आओ कि why do you want to get into high school? एंड हाई स्कूल के अराउंड रिसर्च करके आया करो guys थोड़ा सा.
So I just have one last question. So your episode is coming tomorrow, Shark Tank episode. How was your Shark Tank experience?
Shark Tank, yeah, I can't reveal a lot of things right now, but it was a very good
Yes.
experience, very refreshing. We went 4 days to Bombay. I came to Bombay after long, so it was a very nice trip overall. Uh, we were kept in Juhu, in front of Juhu beach के सामने एक होटल था. We were there. We had a
Married?
fun time there, and daily interacting to 20 plus founders. Like there was 20 plus startups around us. Someone was building in AI, someone was building so there was Zenma guys who were building coffee shops. If you have seen Zenma, there was this one female entrepreneur who has been doing it for 5 years. Okay, she's also got an aired. I'm just slipping out the name out of my head. We met the sharks there. We met the behind team there. It's very nice. The behind team is also very good. So the ecosystem, it was a very refreshing experience. One. Second, I think the feedbacks that we got from sharks were very good, very much on point. I think it was something that we needed at that point of time. And since then, वो 6 महीने, it's been 6 months that we had the shot. I guess yeah. September, October we went. ठीक है, October से लेके it's been March till. We have changed a lot of things since then till now. ठीक है, just because of that one base episode, the direction of Hive School has changed a lot because of the kind of feedbacks that we have gotten from the shops. So I think it's a very good experience. If people are looking to get into Shark Tank, it's a very good experience. Though the rounds are a lot to get into, it's very tough to sort of. It's a lot of luck game as well that you play, but it's a very good experience.
It's very good
I
for
know.
network. So
Yeah, I know. And you're not getting a lot of insights out of Shark Tank. You'll get tomorrow. You see the episode.
Sure.
I
So we
can't
did
give
have
you
a
right now.
conversation with one of the. So we did had a conversation with one of Shark Tank's contestant, Mukabbi. He's building a climate tech startup. So
Okay.
he did give us a lot of insights about Shark Tank. So actually, no, but I wanted to know your experience. Let's finally understand.
यार शार्क टैंक ना मतलब I'll tell you Shark Tank I was there and I was never able to digest it. Is this something that is really happening?
actually,
Until unless you get into that tank once, right? वो आपको ना शूट कराने के लिए लेके जाते हैं पहले, just to shoot your walk of getting into the tank. जब वो shoot होता है ना, that's where you actually realize कि it's going to fucking happen. The next time that the door opens, it's going to be sharks sitting out there. ठीक है, तब आप ऐसे भी नहीं कर सकते हो वहां पे. सो दैट इज व्हाट द हिट कम्स लेटर ऑन एंड देन यू फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट. आपका चला जाता है बिकॉज इट्स अ लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन. देन इट गेट्स एयर्ड, देन यू नॉट 100% श्योर इफ इट्स गोइंग टू कम और नॉट इवन, राइट?
yeah.
दैट इज द सस्पेंस. लाइक हमारे 5 लोग ऑलरेडी एयर हो चुके हैं हमारे ग्रुप के, राइट? सो वी आर लाइक हम हो रहे हैं भी कि नहीं हो रहे, राइट? सो दैट इज अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ वेटिंग पीरियड दैट यू गेट. बट टिल देन इट्स अ फ्लूट. इट हैपेंस, हफ्ता रहता है, उसके बाद देन यू स्टार्ट फोकसिंग ऑन योर वर्क वंस अगेन. ठीक है, टिल लास्ट नाइट इट वाज नथिंग फॉर अस. ठीक है, सैटरडे तक हमको कुछ नहीं था जब तक हमारा एक्चुअल डेट नहीं आया. जब एक्चुअल डेट आया है कल, दैट्स वेयर दैट हाइप अगेन केम इनटू द पिक्चर. दैट्स इट.
Yeah, so that was just it from our side. So it's just very quick. It's basically two truths and a lie. So you have to give us like three statements relating to anything, high school, sales, about you, anything. We'll be making a guess which of them is the truth and a lie.
10 people will get 100% scholarship in first cohort. There will be 20% scholarship for women in sales who comes into our first cohort, and two truths and one lie, right?
Yeah.
Uh, we're getting aired tomorrow on Shark Tank. We'll figure out. See you guys. ठीक है. Thank you so much for having me here. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.
ठीक है, so I think the statements given to us are एक कि they are getting aired tomorrow, which is definitely true. एक is 20% scholarship for women and 100% scholarship to 10 people in the first cohort. So I think women wala is false.
या मुझे भी वुमेन वाला ही लग रहा है बिकॉज 100% स्कॉलरशिप टू वुमेन आई डोंट थिंक सो.
100% नहीं है,
वो
सिर्फ
भी हो सकता है
20% scholarship है women के लिए.
20% स्कॉलरशिप.
By listen, education में it's all equal for everyone. If you're giving a scholarship to someone who's from say a financially different background, तब समझ आता है. But women को क्यों scholarship देनी है? ये किसने बोला कि women financially weak section से और men financially weak section से नहीं है?
ये फेमिनिस्ट जाग गया है इसके अंदर का.
So I think women वाला is false. हमारा collective answer ही होना चाहिए, women वाला is false.
वुमेन वाला ट्रू कैन बी ट्रू एज वेल बिकॉज आजकल कंपनीज कर रही है ना कि वुमेन इन बिजनेस, वुमेन इन एजुकेशन, बेटी पढ़ाओ बेटी बचाओ.
नहीं,
तो
हमारा
it can be
आंसर फिर
true.
भी यही है, women वाला false है.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है चलो जो शिवानी बोले भाई. तो वुमेन वाला मेरा भी वही है अभी. यू गाइस कैन कीप गेसिंग इन द कमेंट्स
हम्म.
एंड आपको जो भी अच्छा लगे जो भी ऑप्शन आप कमेंट कर सकते हैं एंड हम आपको प्रबल से इस चीज़ का आंसर लेके पिन कमेंट्स में बता देंगे. इफ यू गाइस रीच दिस फार मेक श्योर टू हिट द लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब बटन.
And we'll be seeing you in the next episode.
बाय बाय.